You know, this is the fun part of this whole technique. We wash our brushes with odorless thinner, shake them off. And just beat the devil out of them.
Hey everyone, welcome back to more Flesh and Bad, and today we're going to be doing some more F tier Fridays. And for this week's hero, we're doing Bravo. So, Bravo, I think, was one of the first heroes I picked up when I was starting the game. Very, very fun hero. I think the only hero I played before him was Fi, but I think it was just like a Fi Blitz deck just to like do like an introduction to the game. Yeah, so Bravo was kind of like a simple hero, just a fun kind of mid-range hero that sends big attacks. That was kind of what drew me to him like originally was like Crippling Crush and like cards like Macho and like Rouse the Ancients. I thought that the whole kind of like big attack thing with like an on hit was actually quite cool. Since then, he's kind of fallen off quite a bit. I think he was like meta at like a very brief point after Icelander rotated or something like that. But since then, he's fallen off pretty significantly hard. But today we're going to be playing him, and I've got a little bit of a spicy build. So I want to try to avoid playing another CYB build on this channel just because I think that after a certain point you're just playing CYB instead of like the actual hero. So I wanted to play the actual hero the way James White intended, with a bunch of fun cards, a bunch of cool effects, that kind of thing. We do get one new card in the Hunted, which is the Quick Dodge Flexors. So this is just a nice defensive card for especially for like slower decks like we are. And I've kind of hidden the sideboard until now because I want to talk about that. And that is we're on kind of like an aura package. So I think one of the more fun ways that you can play Bravo is using these TCC auras. These are very cool kind of additions. Unfortunately, they came out in that product, which I'm not a super big fan of. But the effect's really cool. So you basically just set up a no-go get aura, and then like you can send like a huge attack, like a crippling crush for like 17 or something, right? Which is almost like Bonds of Agony numbers. Very, very, very cool. And then, yeah, in our board, we got like a little bit of defensive package. We got Zealous Belting and Anothos for kind of like Enigma if we ever happen to play into them, although, like, more than likely, I'm just going to dodge that. And then we got like Smacker Reality for Rune Chance and Fealty Tokens and all the new stuff, I guess, on the new set. And then we also have like a No Room Boots just for AB, and then Colossal Bearing, also a very, very cool card. For people who have not seen this card's quite cool, just destroying equipment. Uh, not like not as efficient, I guess, as like Jarl, but just a very cool effect. Just getting basically just on hit destroying equipment with one or less space, which is cool. And yeah, that's pretty much the deck. Again, the only new additions to this deck are basically Shelter, which is barely an upgrade. It's like a pseudo upgrade, I guess. And then we have also got the Quick Dodge, which is pretty cool as well. Yeah, but that's going to be the deck for the day. So I was actually playing this game on Talishar, and I paired into Ellie Bird earlier, and they fucking destroyed me on this deck. So I'm not very excited for our prospects, but again, I think this deck is like somewhat playable. Again, I have not picked up Bravo in I think a very long time, at least probably a year or so. So it'll be fun to give him a shot. I did actually also want to mention that for Nothos, I am the proud owner of this very cool card. This is a nice little 9 golden Nothos. You can kind of see that shine there. The green screen's eating a little bit, but yeah, probably one of the coolest cards I owned is just this nice little golden Nothos. I'm trying to look for an opportunity to bring this back out, which is hopefully in like Guardian Set Mastery. But yeah, very excited to play with this card again. Very, very cool. Yeah, but with that, I think we'll go ahead and get into the games. All right, so we've got a Verdance. I have no idea how this is gonna go. Let's give it a try, I guess. We can maybe run Anothos and then like AB1 might be all right. We probably do want our aura package. We can maybe even snipe their Storm Striders, which is kind of spicy. Smacker Reality, kind of funny against the Ring. CNC is probably almost always main deck. And is there anything else we want? I'll give him a good look, have fun. While we think. Maybe Starstrucks are not that good into Verdance. Although they're like kind of okay, because it does stop I guess a lot of their. Nah, I don't think that's necessary. I guess we can like maybe board in like one choke slam and maybe this is good enough. It seems like somewhat acceptable. Sure, let's run with it. Alright, we do have a choke slam on turn 1 with a pummel. guess the question is, do we want to pummel or do we just want to dominate? I feel like just dominate's better, just so we can leak a little bit more damage. Because they could just like block a ton on the choke slam and fill up their graveyard, which I don't want. I think we only boarded in one of these, so I guess we don't really care too much about this choke slam. All right, we get to Arsenal Pummel, which is nice. Ooh, okay. Just got the natty Crippling Crush. Currently, I'm on 38 blues, just because I think you do want to have this lineup if you can. The question now is, do we want to pay into the Surgeon or do we want to call their bluff? Kind of feel like calling their bluff and just trying to go for something big. All right, we do get a bit punished here, but I guess it's not even that bad. Like, we basically leak an extra 2 damage, but we still get to send Crippling, so we're not going to pay into this. I think it still works out for us. I think we actually maybe gotten more punished if we paid into it, because then they could just destroy it anyways, and then we can't Crippling Crush, so we're going to go for the Crip. I do miss this card. This card is a lot of fun to cast. Not to be on the receiving end of, but just a very, very fun card to play with. Right, looks like they're going to discard fruits, which probably makes sense. They probably don't even like mind filling their graveyard up that much. All right, so they will cash in the Stonewall value. Sure. Seems okay to me. All right, and we'll discard Energy Pot and Plow. Sure. So at least we took him off the tree, which I think is also kind of important. This hand's pretty spicy. We can do no, we can't do Raz into that. That's still fine though. We can actually play Earth Floor and then Arsenal the Thunderquake. Maybe that's still good. Yeah, that seems fine. And if they attack us, we can just use Crown to like get the Thunderquake out of Arsenal. Seems okay. Just trying to find room for a Pulverize in this deck, but I don't know who exactly I even want Pulverize into. All right, we do find the Colossal Bearing as well, which is maybe going to get played instead, depending on what they do. Seems like they're maybe a more arcane-focused version, although they are running some attacks, I think. It's hard to tell. We can actually do Tear. No, we can't do Tear plus Thunderquake. We could do... No, actually, we could do Tear plus Colossal if we really wanted to. Yeah, let's see what they got. All right, they're going to go for the Plow, which we don't even care about. Like, I'm actually actively okay with losing this. Then this Colossal Bearing is actually, so we can't actually do the Colossal Bearing plus Terra Sunder, which is kind of sweet, which will blow up Tunic or Storm Striders, which I think it's probably Storm Striders that we want to get rid of. The question here is, do I want to cash in any Gauntlets value? Maybe we do, just because it still feels like they're a little bit more arcane focused, so we might not get like a better opportunity to use armor. I will hold on to Crown though in case of CNC though. I think that's worth it. All right, so now our next attack, Guardian attack, costs 4 less. So we'll play the Tear, and then we'll just rip the Colossal Bearing at him. So this is coming in for just a nice, solid, fair 14. 14, discard 2 cards, also destroy a piece of art. Okay, like that sounds good on paper, right? Like it sounds like a very good attack. We also had to like take an entire turn off to do that. But if you don't think about it, it's actually really, really, really good, right? Sure. All right, they're gonna ramp it. Okay. Interesting. And root bound. Oh, maybe just a turn on decompose. Sure. Wonder what the other cards are in hand. I guess they can't block with them anyways, right? Because of dominate. Sure. I guess it does make sense. All right, let's go ahead and blow up these Stormies. And then Tunic also was kind of maybe a consideration. We've kind of gotten really lucky at stuffing these Channel Millennium trees too, which is always nice. All right, so now we have our first kind of awkward hand. We have the option to just overpitch and play out an aura, or we could overpitch the Earth Lore or the Crash Down and then just set up for a Smack Reality. The problem with Smack Reality is that we don't have the ring out, so it doesn't really matter. I feel like the play is probably just going to be set up aura and like overpitch the Smack. I think that's reasonable. Except for a big attack. It might get a little bit awkward with the CNC, but if they attack into us, we can at least like ground the CNC away. Notably, these effects do not work on CNC, but we do draw the natty Crippling Crush, so I guess we are getting rewarded for doing nothing. Sure. We can actually pay into this if we wanted to. I think that's maybe worth it in case they try to go for a scour, or not a scour, a mind warp or something. All right, we'll not pay into the pulsing ether though. All right, I just want to hit you very, very hard. All right, so let's send this nice little Crippling Crush in for a nice fair 17. Uh, very solid. I think we actually talked about this in the deck tech intro too, which is also very funny. Just crippling for 17. Dominate, by the way. I feel like it's kind of good against a lot of these like more defensive decks where they want to like basically have like they want to block with cards every turn. If you force them to not block with cards, their game plan kind of falls a little bit apart. All right, but we got another crippling off, and there goes the last tree, which I think is very incredibly lucky for us, but pretty solid. All right, they're gonna pull Tunic to send a quickening. Do we want to pay for this? Could also just send Spinal at them. Couple options here. I think that we maybe want to just take an off turn to set up Crash Down. It's definitely close. Maybe honestly just dominating Spinal at them might be reasonable too. We still have 3 pummels left in the deck. So maybe it's fine to just take this. Do you want to be a little bit careful about obviously the no Gogan is not going to do very much against them, but I do just want to like try to push as much damage as possible. Right, they do have a nice little shelter here. Cool. We at least get 5 in there that they can't block, so kind of happy with that, especially against like felling. It makes felling pretty inefficient unless they do like surging plus felling. Right, still no pummels, which is maybe a little bit awkward. All right, so we've been given free reigns. What do we want to do? The max amount of damage we can send here is 8, which kind of sucks. And this is part of the reason why this hero is not very good. We'd also have to pull Tunic to do that if we wanted to. Could also just send CNC. Sending CNC is like not terrible. Maybe just keep a blue in our hand. There is one thing interesting about Bravo is that you can actually activate him as many times as you want to like get rid of cards if you wanted to, but I think it's okay to IP with a blue here. Especially a blue 8. Alright, we're drawing into a lot of blues. Interesting. What is their hand? Their hand's probably concerning is what it is. Let's go ahead and activate Bravo. Maybe we can resolve this disable. The problem is they can like block with Tunic and a 3-block, or they can block with a React if they want to. But this is maybe fine. I think we're just trying to save the CNC ideally for pummel. Oh wait, we have seen 1 pummel. Okay, I lied. Yeah, I think we saw that one pretty early. So we have 2 pummels left in the deck. Okay, we do get a disable on them. All right, they're gonna play out the rampant growth in response. Sure. Fair enough. All right, I'm glad we saved the tunic counter for spinal at least if we want to try to resolve that. All right, they're gonna use heartbeat to gain a bit of life, and then they're going to resolve a felling, which is pretty good. We'll go ahead and I think we could actually hold on to the bearing, or we could get rid of the spinal. I feel like there are a couple different plays here. You could maybe go for like Arsenal bearing and play CNC. The problem with CNC is it doesn't do anything, right? You can also just block out on this. That's like kind of reasonable as well. We get up the tempo, but we're not really doing anything anyways. We could send 4 at them, but like maybe 4 is better than nothing. We've also not seen like a CNC or anything from them, so maybe I'm just gonna cash in the gauntlets as well. I think we're just gonna take a little bit off turn here. Definitely a little bit of a scary spot to be in, but we still have 2 pummels, so I think that's kind of our win con at this point. All right, maybe a react here. Sure. Right, another felling, which is okay. Get rid of spinal. I think I do actually want to go for like a Terrasund or a Nothos. It's pretty unlikely that they're going to be able to block it, especially without an arsenal. The question, I guess, is do we want to sync this CNC with Crown? We could also just block with CNC just to get the block value out of the way. I've seen 2 plow unders. There's a couple options here. Oh, sorry. There's a 3rd plow under, so our arsenal is like pretty safe. I think we do just probably want to line out, so maybe we're just taking 8 here. It's a little bit risky, especially if they can like get us into kill range, but we've already seen 2 rampant growths gone. So it needs to be a 3rd rampant growth and then like some crazy big turn or something. But I think I'm fine maybe just trying to go for the tear here. I think at some point we just need to basically push for lethal. They've got Sigil, which is kind of a good answer. I guess it's functionally the same as blocking 3, though. They could have like blocked 3'd and then not discarded, but maybe they want to keep the last card for Arsenal or something. Makes sense. All right, we have an Epot. Sure. All right, another kind of awkward hand. Could actually go for like an Anothos pummel instead if we wanted to. It does get rid of cards in our hand. I guess we can get rid of cards regardless. The question, I guess, is do we want to Arsenal anything? Like, not really, right? Like, none of these cards are good in Arsenal. Maybe we just go for the CNC anyways. Just because they have shown that they're running like a decent amount of reacts, so maybe it makes it harder to block and we can pummel a react away or something. I'm not in love with arsenaling this Showtime, but maybe we can like sync with Crown if they attack or something. Not an ideal arsenal, obviously. I think you almost never play this card, basically. Right, they're gonna need at least like a sigil or something, and they might need 2 sigils to stay alive here or something. I think they've already used 2. I'm trying to think what they can actually use to stay alive. Can you use like last rampant to stay alive, maybe? Does that do it? I think that might do it. Okay, they're gonna get back a card. Gonna get back a candle. Ah, okay, I see. So this is probably nothing. Yeah, I'll give them a good game. Yeah, pretty good first game. I didn't actually think we were gonna get there against Verdance because it seems like a kind of a scary matchup, but I think our just big turns kind of lined up really well against their trees, which seemed really nice. Yeah, so I think with that we'll go ahead and see if we can get another. All right, so we're playing against Fang. I think my board might depend on whether or not they go first. Uh, so I think we do want maybe like the Colossal Bearing Aura stuff just so we can blow up their boots. I think we just want to maybe be as aggro as possible. Hello. Spinal I think is good into them. Is there anything we want to cut into them? I guess is the question. Maybe cut like a singular pummel. No, that's probably too cute. Maybe cut like a Starstruck. Maybe something like this is good, and then we just run the Titan's Fist. I think we're not trying to tempo them with the Zeal Spell thing, so we'll try something like this. I don't know if there are any like set heuristics, by the way, for blocking Obsidian Fire Veins. I feel like you can actually, if you want to be a little bit greedy, you can maybe afford to just put one block in front of the first one, because I feel like the second one is often better. But I feel like that's not entirely true. I feel like I still need to learn a little bit more about this hero, but maybe we just do give them 2 cards anyways. They're pitching a red here, so maybe their deck is more red line. So maybe this setup is not actually that good for them. All right, we see a Crippling Crush on top, which I'm always happy about. Unfortunately, we're not going to have a hand to really probably cast that, unless we want to pitch Pummel and draw blue. Might Token's always good, though. All right, seems like they're pitching a Blade Flurry to play the drop, which also seems pretty good. All right, I think we will just give 3 on this, because I do think we still want this Pummel. It might not do a ton, though. Maybe we just want to like try to cycle towards Crippling Crush. Maybe we do just block here. I think it's kind of okay. Because if we draw a Crippling Crush with 3 blues, then I'm pretty happy about this play, and we're also maybe denying an on-hit. Alright, we don't deny the on-hit, but that's okay. So they only get 1 mark out of this, too. I think these are both mark cards, so it's pretty good. And it looks like I was right. So we do get to manage to get the Crippling Crush for 12 at them. It's pretty solid. It's an above average Crippling Crush, I would say. Alright, send it in. Might Token also maybe doing a tiny bit of work here. I hope you all appreciate me not trying to play another CYB deck, by the way. I feel like I'm kind of sick of CYB. It feels just like a crutch for underperforming heroes. Like, I'd like to see them do something with some of the older heroes that would make them a little bit more interesting than just like a random generic pile. All right, they're gonna give us a lot of armor here, which I think I'm kind of fine with. The more armor out of the way early, the better. This is one of Bravo's problems, by the way, is that how much armor is in the game and how well cards block. Like, these effects are not as strong as they once were, just with how many fridges are in the game. Like, you used to like not be able to block this card, but now you can kind of block the first one at least pretty easily. All right, we do get another aura setup, so I think this hand wants to like block with Spinal Crush and then set up Crash Down Arsenal Crypt. Pretty good. I think I do just maybe want to block this with Spinal, just because in case they like don't do anything or they just play out like Pledge Fealty or whatever, then we're at least denying a little bit of value there. Okay, they play out Imperial Intent, which is a-okay with me. So they get their first Fealty online. Oh, did we board in the Smack? The Smack is also a very funny meme into Fang specifically, right? And I guess Syndra too. You can smack them and destroy their Fealty. All right, we'll set up the Crash Down here. Arsenal to Crypt. We can actually, fortunately, still dominate this because of Tunic, which is why I'm running it. Just makes your plays a little bit more efficient, because you normally just want a two card set up an aura. Like if you're doing like a 3-card aura setup, then it's like kind of not efficient. Okay, we have Oath of Loyalty coming in here. I think we're not blocking anything this turn. We might block with Gauntlets, honestly, just to get a little bit of value. Like maybe this eats like an extra 1 on a react or something. I think I'll go for it. We do want to probably just use up our armor sooner rather than later. And we got our 3 value out of it, which I think is very good. Right. Opponent also gets a Fealty and a Vigor. We won't block the second one. I don't think there's a strong reason to. Right, and now we have the Crash Down plus Dominates plus the Crypt. We probably should actually. I guess it doesn't matter, right? We're arsenaling one of them either way. I actually didn't even see this other Crippling Crush in my hand. I was kind of. I feel like I had like brain overlap thinking these were the same one. This is almost certainly hitting them this turn though. I have a hard time imagining that they're actually going to be able to block this super efficiently. I want to see if we can try to get our Colossal Bearing online at some point. All right, unfortunately, we can't play out double Aura here. Which one do we want to block with? I guess the question. Does Earthlord Empowerment actually help us cast Crippling Crush at all? I feel like it doesn't. In which case, we probably want to maybe just block with it. Like, I think we just want to block with 2 cards here, set up Crash Down, and then try to go for another Crippling. Seems like the play line. Alright, we have unfortunately turned on their Quicksilver, but that's okay. I do just want to make sure I'm getting block value out of my cards. And we're still getting block value. So I think that is well worth it. I'm kind of curious why they didn't do it on the second one. But maybe there's a reason. I'm not entirely saying that's wrong, but oh, maybe they play it to turn on this. No, that doesn't affect that, right? Okay. Yeah, I'm not sure why I played on. That's the first block, I guess. All right. Anyways, we're gonna get delta damage, which is okay. All right, and we'll set up another Crash Down, and we draw into a very nice little Crippling Crush hand. Then we also get this CNC as backup. We still have 2 pummels in the deck. So things are looking pretty all right. All right, opponent is going to have an Oath of Loyalty turn. I don't think we care. And I think I'm just trying to kill them as fast as possible. But you do get the mark, actually, which is maybe relevant. Maybe we're actually supposed to block with, like, the Buckler plus Crown. That seems kind of suspect, though. We'll continue to say no box here. All right, so Fang is currently fully online, so the weapons now cost 0, which is kind of scary. They are still pitching though to play another Oath of Loyalty. We're actually seeing the Oath of Loyalty effect coming into play now. Oath of Loyalty, notably an anti-combo with Oath of Loyalty, which is very, very funny. It's kind of why this card is like kind of whatever. I don't know. This card's like, I don't want to say it's a trap, but I think that this card is like not as good as it seems, but it is still pretty good. I think it's probably good in Fang, but anyways, we're gonna send this much better attack, which is Crippling Crush. So we should basically get to Time Walker opponent here again and get 1,000,000 damage on him. Still have a lot of our armor available to us, by the way. We still have the quick dodge as well. Quick dodge is maybe okay against Fang. I guess it depends how many of the attack starters they're running. All right, hit him for 16. We get a discard on the Relentless Pursuit as well as the Blade Flurry. I imagine they probably wanted that Blade Flurry, but who knows? We can maybe actually try to fish our arsenal here to see if we can turn on Rouse. This does have on hit mark, so maybe we do go for a block on this. It's not the end of the world if they connect with it because they already have 3 fealty. But I think we maybe just want to try to go for Rouse to try to go for lethal. All right, we do find the stuff for Rouse. All right, they have a Pledge Fealty, which is a-okay. So they do get the mark and then an additional fealty from the Pledge. I think this card's actually quite solid in Fang, just for like getting online faster. Kind of a cool card. Obviously seems like pretty poor value, like face value, but it gives you +1 and go again, and it gives you fealty. So not terrible. Let's go ahead and just take this dagger though. Again, giving them 5 fealty does not matter as much as 3. All right, so then we will go for the Rouse. Let's reveal Macho and the Buckling. I think we'll actually try to set up Earthlore here. Just send 7, set up Earthlore. That could be wrong. I guess it depends me how they block. If they kept like a full card hand here, I think it might have been better to like go for just hard casting a Buckling, which feels pretty bad. But we're also like pretty far ahead. Not like super far ahead, but like far enough ahead where we could probably resolve an aura and be safe for a couple turns. Right, so opponent will go to 4. So we do have the option to send 6, but I think I'm going to stick with my guns here and just arsenal the Macho maybe, and then set up the Earth Lore. Because if we can keep 2 blues with the Macho, then we can just send that and maybe try to go for the kill. Which it looks like we have here. We can also maybe use these blues for quick dodge. Finally get some use out of this card, which feels like it's... This card is actually kind of a little bit gone down, in my opinion, just because pitching a blue is sometimes like not as good as like let's say you have like 1 blue in your hand and then you have like other cards you want to cast. Pitching that blue is sometimes a little bit awkward. We'll maybe try to use it here though. Let's go ahead. Maybe block like this and then play the flexors. There's no real on hits in Fang other than like Long Whisker. I guess this kind of interrupted me, but there really aren't that many on hits in Fang. Not a ton of like relevant on hits. What are they going for? They're going for buff power. That's the only mode. So this doesn't even have an on hit. So I stand by my original statement. We'll activate the quick dodge here. I think just get a little bit utility out of them. Could have actually gone for posing if we wanted to or something, but that's whatever. Right, so they're going to go for Savor Bloodshed, which will not draw them a card unless they have Proclaim Vengeance or whatever that card is. I think we'll just go ahead and use our Flexor value here and then go for the Macho. Yeah, it seems like we'll get there. Like, we're not going to die here. If they want to get the on-hit mark, I think that's acceptable. All right, so we have 1 discount from the Earth Lore. We can play out the Macho for 6 total. Comes in for 13. They could probably only block like 8 at most, which will put them to -1. So it seems like we get there. Okay, we can beat Fang, who might be next week's F Tier Friday hero, because I kind of think he's a little bit overrated. Their deck doesn't look that bad though. Like, this is kind of what I think you want to be doing, is maybe playing a little bit more like red line aggressive, just playing a bunch of like 0 costs and trying to go for like just a bunch of damage and try to get a line as fast as possible. But yeah, spoilers for next week. People might be mad at me again regarding Fang. Yeah, but anyways, I think that's gonna probably wrap it up for today. So that was the F Tier Fridays. Again, we're basically revisiting a kind of deck from the past, which is Aura Bravo, which is a deck that I had a lot of fun with once Bravo was like not really a meta hero anymore. He was kind of like, I forget exactly when people started playing these like Crash Down Auras, but whenever that was, I think it was actually like a very fun time to play this deck in Armory. So a very cool deck, very nostalgic deck. Like this deck a lot, and I'm hoping it will get better maybe with the new Guardian set, but that remains to be seen. We'll do a rain check on that. All right, well, that's gonna wrap it up for today. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see y'all next time.